Mikel.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Just a reminder, that section, 10:30 deadline tonight. A couple of final ones for the Sundays. And that will be 10:30 Saturday night. Start with Rob from the Mail on Sunday.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
Hi, Mikel. How big is qualifying for the Europa League? Obviously, for prestige of the club, but also the finances. It seems that in the summer, what you can do with transfers, you can't be like Manchester City, you can't be like Manchester United. You have a different kind of budget, but that presumably is important to the club in the financial sense.
Yes, I think it will be very important, and not just financially, but as well for the players to keep competing in Europe, and as well for our fans to have more games, to have the possibility to fight for another trophy. And we will try to do that. And we have a very difficult opponent with Chelsea, but we are very hopeful that we can do it.
I'm sure you're not going to tell us, obviously, all your targets, and I'm sure you have lots of targets sorted out, but and hopeful on. Are you confident that, say you're in the Europa League, that you will be able to rebuild the squad where you need to, and so approach September with fresh optimism?
I am very confident that we're going to try to do our best in the conditions and the context that we have.
Can I just ask you personally, the job was a challenge when you took it, and we almost immediately then had the coronavirus pandemic, and then you were having to deal with a new squad. There was the issue of pay cuts that you had to get involved with. And yet you seem to have united them as a group. And obviously last weekend we saw the absolute best of your work and maybe the players' abilities. Has that been the biggest challenge of your professional career the last couple of months?
Without a question of a doubt. I can write a book, I think, with the last 6 months. But yes, as well, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and just last one for me, were the times when you're a little bit like, I'm not sure I wanted to take this job quite like this, or you've obviously enjoyed it, but there must be times when you're under extreme pressure when you're trying to...
Yeah, but I think with myself, I have to talk with myself, not with people at the club or anybody, or even the fans. The pressure that I put myself into it because I want the best. I know the standards of this club, and for me it's very difficult to accept certain things, and I'm very much detailed into a lot of things that I know they have to be a must in order to work and work with that, get to know the place better and the players, the staff, and do my best to improve in every area.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry. Harry, finally.
Right. Hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Mikel. I'm just wondering, you obviously had two magnificent performances against City and Liverpool before that. And yet against some of the smaller teams, I think it's dropped 17 points against the Norwiches and the Villas. That's those sort of teams. What does that say about the sort of team's mentality and what you need to change still there to get the consistency?
Then look how simple I'm going to put it for you, that if we are able to do the same next season against the top teams and improve a little bit with the other ones, we're going to be right up there with the best teams. But it's not as simple as that. But one of the stats that, guys, you showed about the difficulties that we have creating the chances is related to that as well. And that's something that we have to focus in order to improve and be more consistent in results against any opponent.
And I mean, with regards to sort of mentality, I think I was thinking of one player who, post the sort of COVID, break, has come back in Granit Xhaka, who seems to, been playing really, really well, and we're seeing perhaps the Xhaka that joined Arsenal. And could you speak a bit about the improvements he's made and just sort of the difference between him, perhaps when you arrived at the club, and how he is now as a sort of character? Because he had a difficult time earlier this season, we know.
Yeah, you probably know better than me, guys, what happened and how much it affected both sides when that issue occurred. But when I arrived, I had a really high opinion on him. I knew him really well. I tried to convince him that he could have a place here, that he could enjoy his career, that his family could be happy here, and he's a player that when he commits, he goes 100%. And he worked really hard. He won everybody's trust. Again, I think he started to enjoy. You could see that, and that's normally when you have those two aspects together. That's when normally players perform at the highest level.
So presumably, having the fans backing him, next season when if and when they are back, will be a great thing for the fans to be able to see him playing at his best again with the confidence. Yeah.
Absolutely, because I think for a football player, when you are on that pitch and you feel your fans supporting you, you feel their love, their support, is an immense amount of energy and drive that produces into a football player. And to be fair, since I joined, I saw that towards Granite. The atmosphere was completely different, and they were clapping him, they supported him, and they were good. So hopefully he can enjoy that when the fans are back in our stadium.
Okay, and last one from me. In today's one or two papers today about Saka, Nigeria are meant to be very interested in trying to get hold of him before England. Is that something you'd ever get involved in discussing with a young player?
If I get asked the question, I can give my opinion. Up to now, he hasn't come to me with that. So I leave total independence to the players and almost and as well the families, because normally they have a big say for the background and the culture and where they're coming from. So I don't step in there.
No, okay, but I mean, he's good enough though to play for England in the future, isn't he? From what we're seeing.
Absolutely, and he's very clever to make the right decision as well.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks, everybody. Just a reminder, that deadline is 10:30 Saturday night, and the daily newspaper section 10:30 Friday night. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Miguel.
Mark. Good luck.
Cheers.
See you in the
Mark.
sky piece.
Cheers.